Hey, so in this video we are going to look at how to set up Amazon CodeCatalyst to support single sign-on using the IAM Identity Center. This is a new announcement right before reInvent, and for that I have done two or three prerequisites. I've went into my AWS console. I've logged into the account. That is actually the one that I'm going to use, which is one of my accounts that I'm using. This account is also connected as a billing account for a specific space that I'm going to connect, as you can see over here. And with that, let's see what CodeCatalyst offers us here. So looking at single sign-on details, it tells me to go to the console itself. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm now directly jumping into our AWS console. And as you can see, there is a blank page. This is great. It's not really helpful. So here's the process to do that. And as you can see, we need to enable Identity Center. After enabling the Identity Center, we will be able to connect them. So let's see. Prerequisites for connecting and to Okay, so I'm going to go with Frankfurt, which would be your central 2. Looks like there is an Identity Center set up already. Let's have a look. So now I'm in the console for the IAM Identity Center, and as you can see, there is already something set up. Set up this instance. Okay, so this is the organization ID at the end. Okay, so going back to this one, looks like this is the correct one. And as you can see, there are some prerequisites that I have not yet fulfilled. So I'm going to do that and we'll be then back. So as you see, we still have this issue, and this is easily to be resolved. If you don't want to connect your own IDP, you can just go to your IAM Identity Center, create a group over here, name that CodeCatalyst admins or administrators. Then I can create the group, and the moment that I do that, you will automatically directly see that this becomes green. And now I can continue setting up the connection to the space. So this will be a CodeCatalyst list, and I'm planning to use the space which is named logcat.info over here. And with that, let's move on. We're going to link that to an existing space that we already have. Then we can enable single sign-on with that. Okay. And with that, we can now enable CodeCatalyst administrators to access this one. We don't have any users, so this is not going to work. We need to create a user first. And with that, I'm going to do that and pause for a second. Okay, so I've created a user now, which essentially means that I should hopefully now also find that here. And it looks like that does not work yet. So now looks like I managed to set up my application details. So I'm not going to be able to go back to the screen that we saw in the last part of the video. The problem essentially was that during that setup of the IAM and Identity Center, what happens is that the AWS console actually caches the groups and the users. My solution for that was that in the Identity Center, what I did was I set up an additional group for my existing Identity Center, right? So I need to go to Frankfurt over here because that's where my Identity Center is set up. And here you will see that now I added a second group, CodeCatalyst users, setting up this group and then restarting the setup of the integration for CodeCatalyst is what resolved my challenge here. So going back to the CodeCatalyst overview in the console, then going to the Identity Center, you can now see that this is connected. Okay, and you can then also see the application details and how this has been set up. And I could now also add additional administrators. So it was pretty simple after going through that process. And as I said, my main problem here was really that I did not add a user to a group, which got me stuck on that page. So if you hit that problem and you kind of get stuff cached, the way that I was able to force this is by adding a new group, which will then actually restart that setup for you. So now how does this look like? If we go into incognito mode, we can now use the URL for our single sign-on login to kind of get into this. You will now see that I am using an incognito window to ensure that I have a new session. Entering my details, and I hope that this is correct. Okay, so that was wrong, so let's use the saved one. Now I need to enter my MFA code, which is something that I would recommend you to do every time that you set up a new device. So let's go with that was wrong. Okay, so now we are in. As you can see, this is a brand new Identity Center. Now we have one integration to CodeCatalyst, which will, if I click on here, I will now directly get into. I am now able to access only the space because this has been set up. There's two projects in it. If I go to the settings, I will now see teams, hopefully. There's the administrators team. In the single sign-on page, I will now see that there is a login URL, which is essentially the one that I just entered. That's the application center name. Here are the groups that have been connected. And I can now look at members. I'm hoping to see only one member, which would be Lockhart, which would be myself. And as you can see, this seems to work. Going back to this page now, clicking on go to IAM Identity Center would move me once again to the console. Go to manage SSO would be bringing me to this page where we are actually setting up our CodeCatalyst. So would be bringing me here where I can now do changes and stuff like that. There is a way back. You can dissociate space from an Identity Center. What made me worried at start is that there's only one possibility today, right? So I can only link, I think over here it says only one CodeCatalyst space can be enabled with an IAM Identity Center at a time. To remove or disable access, learn more in the CodeCatalyst section. So this actually means that I cannot link to a second space, right? So ideally, I now would want to have the possibility to, let's go back, here have multiple different spaces, right? And this seems to be a limitation that is not implemented yet. I'm going to get this back to the team and see if there's plans to change this going forward. As you can see, it's pretty simple to set up single sign-on. Now, let's play this a little bit ahead. In the setup, we saw that when setting up this thing, the intention was to be able to use your own IDP, which essentially you would now do by going to the IAM Identity Center setup, right? So I can now identity and IAM Identity Center, and I don't know why I always fall back to Oregon. I think this is because CodeCatalyst is only in Oregon. Now I could set up over here the connection to my own IDP. So this would by changing the sources, and with that I could now connect to an Azure Active Directory. I could connect to Okta. I could connect to Ping or any other IDP that I use within my own setup. So I think this is really the important piece here, that you can now pull in users, groups, and roles from your existing enterprise IDP, and that enables you to drill that down into the CodeCatalyst itself. So I thought I showed that over here. I have the connected groups. The connected groups can now be linked to a corresponding team. So going back here, I should now be able to manage to see the members over here, and I should also be able to somehow set up the corresponding user roles. So this is the edit piece. Let's create a new team and see what happens. I can now map the user groups over here, right? So all users that are in the users will now be directly mapped to that administrators from SSO. So this means that everyone that is in this CodeCatalyst administrators group will now automatically be mapped into this administrators group going forward. And this is regardless of what we set up over here, right? So I can now in the Identity Center add a new user to this team automatically by just setting up these groups. And this is pretty cool. That's all I wanted to show in this video. Please let me know if you have any questions, and reach out to me if you also have any feedback on how to set up single sign-on. I would be glad to forward that to the team for you. So thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to dive deep into the next video, in the next details announcement pretty soon. Bye bye.